Good evening, all. I'm Janith Weerasingha, and my research topic is determining the invoicing dates for raw material imports and finished product exports using neural networks and exchange rate volatility. My research supervisors are Dr. Mahinda Bandara from the Department of Transport and Logistics Management and Dr. Pasan Edirisinghe from the Department of Mathematics. As you can see in this article, USDLR exchange rate rapid fluctuation is a hot topic in Sri Lanka these days. As we all know, Central Bank of Sri Lanka is struggling to control the rapid depreciation of Sri Lankan rupee by taking so many measures like banning of import of vehicles and agrochemicals and apparels like major dollar outflow in gains. At the same time, Sri Lankan government is trying to get huge foreign direct investments to the country like Port City project to control the balance of payment. With the impact of all of these, exchange rate of Sri Lanka is rapidly fluctuating daily basis. Then why all of these articles talking about and focusing about this USDLR exchange rate? Why not another currency? It's because according to the World Bank reports and the Trading Economics website, the main trading partner of Sri Lanka is United States. It is about 25% of the total market share. So Sri Lanka have to mainly deal with this USD. This is the forest chart of USDLR since 1974. We can clearly observe a clear uptrend until 2001. In 2001, exchange rate was fully liberalized to float freely. After that, the exchange rate is determined by the market supply and demand. Therefore, we can observe so many fluctuations. We can see it clearly in shorter time frames. This is exchange rate of 6 months. We can observe the fluctuations very clearly, and when we zoom this to 5 days chart, we can observe the volatility in 1 week. In our research, we are focusing on the impact of exchange rate fluctuation on Sri Lankan companies. If a manufacturing firm is to pay for raw material imports, it is always beneficial to complete the transaction at a lower exchange rate. If the firm has to pay in this week and if they could be able to predict the date with lowest exchange rate, this is the exchange rate gain in average other than selecting any other date of that week. For example, if the order is $100,000, the gain per transaction is 43,700 LKR cost reduction. So if a company can forecast this exchange rate with a near accuracy, they could have generated an exchange rate gain in their supply chain transactions. To explore more on this, we analyzed the literature on mainly 4 areas. First, we searched for the factors affecting to the exchange rate volatility. According to the literature on forecasting USDLR exchange rate, there are many economical, quantitative, and qualitative factors affecting. All of these factors are not generates daily data. Our requirement is to forecast this exchange rate daily. Otherwise, it will not be beneficial in practical business applications in day-to-day supply chains. Therefore, from all of these factors, we selected stock market data, exchange rate time series data, interest rates, and future news releases, which daily data are available. Then, as the second steps, we analyzed how exchange rate impacts to the international supply chains. There we found that exchange rate volatility can adversely impact on companies like reducing the trade volumes and reducing exports due to profit risk. Because of this, then we search for the measures used by these companies to mitigate this risk. Through literature, we found firms are using strategies like hedging against forward markets and invoicing in domestic currency like strategies to mitigate the exchange rate risk. As a country as a whole, it is possible to peg to the most trading currency. But all of these strategies are to avoid the impact of this exchange rate risk. Therefore, we found a research gap here that no research on supply chain strategy to take the advantage of this exchange rate volatility to generate an exchange rate gain in international transactions. After finding this research gap, we analyzed the methods of forecasting the exchange rate. According to the literature, there are basically 2 methods of exchange rate forecasting: fundamental analysis and technical analysis. There are many methods of doing this analysis as listed here, and there are mainly 2 forecasting methods: statistical forecasting and neural network forecasting. Because of the complicated nonlinear features and diversity of input parameters of this financial data, literature mentions that fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and statistical forecasting methods are not successful alone. Therefore, literature suggests neural network models to deal with this financial data because it is with the self-learning ability which can generate more accurate predictions than other methods. Out of all these forecasting models, literature proves the superiority of the vector regression model as a statistical forecasting model and the superiority of the long short-term memory, that means LSTM neural network, as a better financial data forecasting models. We use these two methods in our research for forecasting USDLR exchange rate. Now we found our research problem, research gap, and research background. Through all of these factors we are collected, we set our research objective. Our research objective is to find the best USDLR exchange rate forecasting model to incorporate in supply chain decisions like deciding the best dates for invoicing foreign transactions when importing and exporting. To achieve these research objectives, we collected data and developed a research methodology. These are the data that we collected to achieve our research objective. Mainly 4 types of data. First, exchange rate time series data. Almost all of the researchers on USDLR exchange rate are using only daily average exchange rate or higher time frames of exchange rate. But here in this research, we incorporated 6 data points within 1 day. It will improve our data quality. Additionally, we use interest rates and stock market foreign purchases and foreign sales. Since most of the literature suggests to incorporate news releases for exchange rate forecasting, we use USA and Sri Lankan news releases data from main 2 websites. To check the practical applicability of this forecasting model, we use invoicing dates for imports and exports from a Sri Lankan manufacturing company. With those data, this is our research methodology to achieve our research objective. First, we developed vector regression model and LSTM model with dataset 1 and selected the model with best accuracy. Dataset 1 is with time series data of exchange rate and economical data. In these graphs, we can see the predictions of vector regression and LSTM. We can observe in the charts that vector regression predictions is highly deviated from the actual exchange rate and LSTM prediction is no closer to actual. Evaluation results also confirms this. But still this LSTM model prediction haven't identified the fluctuations to a satisfactory level. But comparatively, LSTM model is with better accuracy than vector regression model. Here we found that LSTM model is better. Then we fed dataset 2 to the LSTM neural network. Dataset 2 is with all the data in dataset 1 plus categorical data of news releases. This graph shows the LSTM prediction with dataset 1 and dataset 2. Blue color line shows the predictions. We can observe in charts that LSTM model developed with dataset 2 has identified the fluctuations of the exchange rate than first model. At the same time, mean absolute percentage error, root mean square error is lower in LSTM model 2 and mean directional accuracy is higher. Therefore, here we selected LSTM model developed with dataset 2 as the best forecasting model for USD-LKR predictions. After that, through sensitivity analysis, we decided to use 5 days prediction model. Then we predicted the exchange rate and plotted it with actual exchange rate and invoice dates from the company. After that, we analyzed all the invoicing dates for imports and exports. This is an example from our real dataset to explain how we analyzed the invoicing dates. First, we plotted 5 days predictions and actual exchange rate, then selected the highest predicted exchange rate. Then plotted the invoicing dates on it. As you can see in this graph, the company has been invoiced all 3 orders on 9th of September, they could have gained an additional revenue. This equation is used to calculate the success rate and profit that can generate using LSTM model. If we analyze overall results for deciding invoicing dates with LSTM model forecast, if the company used the forecasting model, they could have gained a 76% success rate in deciding invoicing dates for exports, and 82% success rate in deciding invoicing dates for imports. It is an average 0.18 LKR per dollar gain in exports and average 0.09 LKR per dollar cost reduction in imports. Okay. Then as the key insights and discussion of this research, we can say that neural networks are better in financial predictions than statistical forecasting models, and short-term predictions are with better accuracy. Combining financial news with time series data improves the accuracy of forecasting model. And finally, we can say that we have achieved our objective. It is possible to use LSTM neural network model trained with daily economic data to generate an exchange rate gain to the company in its supply chain transactions. And this is like a money plan to a company. As limitations of this research, we can say that this model cannot detect the artificial manipulations of the exchange rate by central bank, and this model can be further optimized by hyperparameter tuning techniques like Bayesian optimization. That's the end of my presentation, and thank you very much.